Good morning. Again, I start masked just as a kind of reminder that when we go into public, we do wear these. This morning, I'm recording the service for the Pasadena Buddhist Temple. It will be broadcast on Sunday, November 15th. And our friend Alan Goto is recording this. Alan is wearing a mask and he's about 30 feet away, so we're quite safe here. I will again this week ask you, if you would, to join me in the chanting of the Juseige. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Busatsu, Daimuryo, Jukyo, Juseige, Gagoncho, Thegon, Hishimu, Jodo, Shiganhu, Manzoku, Dehujo, Shogak, Gaomuryoko, Fuindai, Theishu, Futaisho, Bingu, Dehujo, Shogaku, Gashijo, Bundo, Myoshoto, Jippo, Kukyomi, Shomon, Dehujo, Shogak, Ryoku, Jinshonen, Joeshu, Bongyo, Shigumu, Jodo, Isho, Tenninshi, Jinriki, and Daiko, Fushomu, Saido, Shoujo-san, Kumyo, Kothai-shu, Yakunan, Kaihichi, Eigen, Meshi-kon, Moan, Hei-sokusho, Akudo, Udatten-den, Shumon, Kothojo, Mandoku, Iolo, Jippo, Nichigatten, Shujuki, Tenko, Onbugen, Ishukai, Hodo, Koseiku, Dokuho, Yoodai, Shuchu, Seppo, Shiku, Kuyo, Isayabuten, Gusokushu, Tokuhon, Aneshjoman, Tokui Sangayo, Nyobutmu Gechi, Sudatmi Husho, Tangaku Eriki, Toshi Sai Shoson, Shiganya Koka, Daisen no Kando, Koku Sho Tenin, Touchin Myoke. Namanabu, 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 Namanabu. Gani shikudoku, Byodo sei isai, Dohon no nai shin onyo an la koku. Namanda burmanda, namanda bu, namanda bu, namanda burmanda. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namanda, Buddhamanda, Namanda, 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 Buddhamanda, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Well, again, good morning, and thank you for viewing this service. We are recording this service and Dharma talk for the Pasadena Buddhist Temple to be broadcast on YouTube this coming Sunday, November 15th of 2020. As I have suggested before, we are currently amidst a sea of troubles. The election is over, but there is a messy aftermath that will drag on for a couple more months. At the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were expecting that it might be winding down about now. It's not winding down. It's getting worse and worse. The virus is spreading to more and more people. Amidst this sea of troubles that we are facing, we need ideas, practices, concepts, perspectives to ground us, to protect us, to keep our ship afloat. Now, Buddhists have ideas. We have ways of viewing our lives and activities, practices to help us cope with our lives and the many difficulties that they present. I pretty much every week encourage you to say the Nimbutsu aloud, and I'll finish on that point today. I encourage you to say the Nimbutsu aloud in forms like Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Buddhamanda, Namanda Bun, Namanda Bun, Namanda Buddhamanda, in English translations such as, I rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. I encourage you to engage in this practice each week. This is our central activity, our practice, but it's not magic. Verbal forms such as Namo Amida Butsu are transformative only if we have some understanding of what they mean, only if they help us to look at the world a little differently. Now, in Hinduism and in some other Buddhist schools, some sacred utterances, mantra, are said to have an effect whether you understand them or not. The utterance, Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha, is said in the Prajna Paramita literature to dispel demons. Now, I'm not entirely sure what Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha means. And I'm pretty sure that if there are demons and they're being dispelled, they don't know what it means either. It apparently still works magically. The Nimbutsu is not like that. The Nimbutsu is not one of those. The Nimbutsu is not magical. It is illuminating, nurturing, only because of our understanding of what it means. But that understanding doesn't have to be complicated, but you must understand what it means. And the Nimbutsu means that we are participating in the commitment to liberate all deluded and suffering beings. Namo Amida Butsu is the participation in the process of liberating all suffering and deluded beings. Through the Nimbutsu teaching, the Buddha brings us to enlightenment. That enlightenment is the discernment of the deepest truths about life. With the penetrating insight of awoken persons, we then can assist others. Receiving the Buddha's assistance, we can assist others. We can assist others to understand their lives in a way that will lead to a decrease in suffering, to a greater fulfillment in their lives. To say the Nimbutsu aloud in forms like, I rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life, or in Sino-Japanese, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, or in the flowing way we sometimes say it, Namanda, Buddhamanda, Namanda, 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 Buddhamanda. This is to remember that there is a promise to liberate us, that this promise is including us. We will become co-liberators one day. Right now we're being picked up and taken to where we need to go. And I think it's always helpful to remember this promise. Remembering this promise will help us. However, all these Buddhist ideas and concepts, we got a lot of good ideas and a lot of good concepts, and certainly our mottos, they're only appropriate in some circumstances, right? Is it always helpful to remember that objects are empty of a separate essence? You walk around thinking that all the time? Probably not, I don't. But it's sometimes helpful to realize that an object is separate of a separate essence. It's really one great process constructed out of sub-processes. Is kindness a concept that always applies to the situation? You know, the current Dalai Lama, His Holiness Tenzin Gyatso, is said to have said this little motto. He is said to have said, be kind whenever it is possible. It's always possible. That's not true. Whether he said it or not, it's not true. It is not always possible to be kind. Put me in business class and fly me across North America seated between Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham. I will not be kind. I could not be kind. Those guys ring my bells. Other people ring your bells. The point is you can't always be nice. You can't. If you wanted to have a motto about, be kind whenever possible, I'll tell you the true motto, it's something like, be kind whenever it's possible. Actually, be kind most of the time it's possible. Be kind most of the time when it's possible. It's often possible. That's true. But even it would not always be applicable to your situation. It's not always helpful. Little models aren't always applicable. Ideas aren't always helpful. Visions aren't always the vision we need today. Living your life in thankfulness is often a good idea. And it is sometimes possible. It's not always possible. When someone is in the process of cheating you in a business deal, a demeanor of gratitude is not appropriate, nor is it helpful. Even being grateful is not always the right idea. Sometimes even thankfulness is inappropriate. Sometimes kindness is not possible for us, for me. As Buddhists, what is our most basic fundamental idea or concept? That's a trick question because we really have 4 concepts that all point at the same thing. Our most fundamental concepts, there's 4 of them, they all point at the same thing. There's actually 5 or 6 or 7 of them. I won't mention suchness right now, which is another, but let me give you the 4 that are a little older. Emptiness, we've discussed that. Remember how much help that idea has been to you in your life, emptiness. It has been useful to me on occasion. I've been a Buddhist for 52 years, and emptiness has been a great help to me about 6 or 7 times in my life, right? 6 or 7 days out of 52 years I've thought about emptiness. But it is a good concept. Non-duality, another way of saying the same thing, non-duality. Okay, that's kind of highfalutin, but it's true. Interdependence, we'll come back to that. Interdependence, oneness, or suchness, they all point at the same thing, each in slightly different ways, point to the fundamental truth that Buddhists are awakening to. That truth is always true, the truth we awaken to, but we have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different ways of thinking about it. Which we emphasize will depend on the specific context and upon whom we are conversing with. Sometimes it is helpful to think about objects and persons being empty of a separate essence. That can be helpful. Sometimes it's more illuminating to say that they are interdependent. Interdependence is a very concrete way of talking about this deep truth. Right now I'm speaking to you at the Pasadena Buddhist temple. I couldn't do it without Alan Goto, who is recording this and editing it, without Kathy Kumagai's further editing and placing it up on YouTube. I'm holding a ninju. This was a present from my cousin Daido Baba of the Hilo Betsuin. I'm wearing a wagesa, the mark of a Buddhist priest. Actually, the robe, other people wear them, but only a Buddhist priest wears these. This is, I have received from my father-in-law, the late Reverend Kensho Okura, who passed away 37 days ago at the age of 80. I am dependent on Alan to record this, Kathy to edit it. I don't have a ninja if it wasn't for Daido Baba Sensei. I wouldn't have this lovely wagesa marking that I am a priest. I am authorized to speak for the Buddha Dharma, received from my father-in-law, Kensho Okura. We are interdependent. Sometimes we say that two persons or events are non-dual, and a little fancy, but sometimes that's a good way to put it. And often it's most helpful about this deep truth to simply say, reality is one. We are all one. Simple truth. Simple way of saying the truth. All these ideas, all these ways of speaking are good ways of speaking, good ideas, but not one of them works all the time for just anyone. What does work pretty much any time, I believe, for us, is not an idea or a concept, but really a way of feeling. The Nembutsu is, of course, saying phrases like Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Buddhamanda, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. I rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. This is the Nembutsu, but the Nembutsu is also a feeling of trust and confidence. Even more than just saying it, Nembutsu is a way of feeling, a way of trusting, a way of insisting that it will work out, insisting we will be part of it working out all right. That feeling again, the Nembutsu feeling, as I borrow the words from other traditions here, but the Nembutsu way of feeling is that all will be well, and all will be well, and every manner of thing will be well. This is the Nembutsu feeling, this is Shinjin, this is trust and confidence. We all have it floating around us all the time. Every now and then we just lean back into it, and if we feel like it, say the Buddha's name. If you're of a mood to take such an attitude, such a trusting attitude, please join me then in saying the Buddha's name, saying the Nembutsu a few times in closing this Dharma message portion of the service. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you for viewing this service and listening to this Dharma talk. Thank you very much. I will see you again.